Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Bookers Alliance podcast. Come on in the house, grab yourself up a ringside seat. Come on in, get your popcorn, your sodas, your whiskey, get everything you need, because today is NXT Let's Effing Go.
Oh, yeah. You gotta bring your young blood in today. You got to be fresh and ready because we got young legs to spring off of today.
Let's effing go. Obviously, we're referencing the WWE LFG program that came on Sunday night. If you got A&E, give it a watch. A little bit hard to find sometimes with A&E. I'm going to need WWE to work on that because, I ain't paying for no more extra channels. Come on now.
Yeah, you got to go get a whole new service for what we're using. I think on this end, we're using YouTube TV, and YouTube TV ain't necessarily friendly with A&E. So.
Yeah, YouTube, you can also, if you want to drop that Hallmark channel and give us A&E, I ain't going to complain.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, there's at least 80 channels on that shit that I don't watch near one of. So nothing. I mean, the 5 channels I do watch, I feel like we should be able to get A&E in there, but
somewhere, somehow. We also got to talk about today's sponsor. Today's sponsor, Angel's Envy Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, finished in port wine barrels. Yep. A little sophisticated today.
Yeah, it's got a taste to it too. It has that smooth taste in there.
I should have had my Kevin Owens tuxedo shirt on.
They don't know what we're wearing, so trust and believe. We're dressed to the nines over here today.
Dressed to the nines. All right, well, let's cheers to LFG. Let's effing go. Ooh. Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it's got that smooth wine go down. It doesn't get that afterburn in there.
I feel like I need a sommelier.
There you go. I mean, not today, but good to know for next time.
Who was
That was Reggie.
It was Reggie from Carmelo,
that was
right?
Reggie. Yeah.
Reggie.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Reggie, where you at, man? What you doing?
Well, we won't be talking about him no more on today's show. So I mean, this is his last shout out now. Or wait, that's Scripps. Yeah, it's Scripps.
All right, we got to talk about NXT first, though. We got to talk about NXT. We got to talk about Vengeance Day.
No, we got to talk about LFG. Man, LFG was good, man. I wanted to wait. So tell me, was there anybody that stood out for you on LFG?
Yeah, absolutely, there did. Don't know her name, but she was Samoan. And she looked like she would fit right in with Jacob Fatu.
I remember when she did her promo.
Woo.
Oh yeah, Woo. She brought some energy in there. I was like, okay, I see where they're going with this.
So LFG, Legends and Future Greats is what they're calling this. It's a competition where Sean has invited Mickie James, Bubba Ray Dudley, Booker T, and The Undertaker, of all people, The Undertaker, into a competition where they are teaching and passing knowledge on to these young future greats. And it's a competition to see who's going to win.
So Tough Enough.
Basically.
Oh, okay. Well,
basically.
So for those of you who are out there listening who are like, LFG, I don't have A&E. What the hell is all these letters and fucking acronyms and all? It's just Tough Enough.
Basically.
Unfortunately, not on USA though, like Tough Enough used to be, where we could all see it.
Yeah, YouTube.
So yeah, we got to hustle a little harder to see it here now. But yeah, LFG is the upgraded Tough Enough, but I mean, different from the last Tough Enough. These are characters who are already in the Performance Center. They're already working. I mean, there's a couple of them that I'm looking at like, oh, my God, we'll see them on main event roster here in the near future. I mean, I'm not even sure if some of these kids go to NXT.
The coolest thing that I got out of watching that episode, though, The Undertaker. That was cool because you're talking about a man who spent 30 years protecting the business.
Yep.
Protecting his character.
Yeah.
And not really letting a lot of people in. And he is willing now to kind of, as they said, pull the curtain all the way back here and show how the business is really done. Now, granted, I can almost guarantee you they're not going to show you everything.
No, I mean, well, Undertaker said it on his own show a couple of times. At this stage of the game, he's Mark Calloway. He's not the Undertaker anymore. You won't hear the dong and all that other, which sadly enough, he's holding true to. I get it, but as a fan, no. But okay, I understand it. But yeah, watching him pull the curtain back, it's like, woo,
it's
never
weird.
thought I would see.
It's weird.
Yeah,
It's weird.
I mean, when he does his podcast, everything he does now is almost like a behind the scenes Undertaker deal. And up until 2021, we had never thought we were going to see any of that.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey, wait a minute, pump the brake. But yeah, got to let him be a regular guy. He's moving on. He's finding his niche in the business outside of one character. So, hey, more power to him.
And I think, hell, we only know what we know, but this could be something that's helping him, though, in retirement to move on and get past the Undertaker character.
Yeah.
And really look at, okay, I've still got miles to go and miles to give, but I don't have to do it in the ring. I can do it teaching these young talents.
Absolutely. I mean, and then you got Bubba and Booker. Both of them already run wrestling schools. Yep. So, I mean, they're on top of that game already. And we know it's TV, right? So the format of the show, for those of you who haven't seen it and wondering, what it's going to be about, you got basically your 12 characters, 12 wrestlers, 16 I think. Yeah, one of the two. They're using, they got 16 kids that are auditioning to be coached by one of the 4 wrestlers. Basically they give whatever the day's event is. This week's episode was a promo. You go out there, whoever cut the best promo, they took the top 2 talents from the day or whatnot, and then they let them have a match later on, kind of pick the standout of the match. And that's quote unquote the winner for the week. And then they let that winner pick who their coach should be. Right. So I'm looking at a lot of the big guys. One guy came out there for his promo, stepped right over the top rope. A couple other guys came out there. I mean, they were jacked up to the nines. Some people came out there looking real athletic and, they were moving. And I'm like, man, if this is what the new talent looks like, the current talent better step the hell up, because otherwise they're going to get stepped the hell on.
Yep.
So real exciting to see, real anxious to see where some of that young talent goes. I'm really excited to see who some of these people pick. Because like I said, if I'm one of those big guys, I'm trying my best to get under the Undertaker's.
Absolutely.
Who the hell else you want to learn how to be a big guy working for? But if I'm one of those athletic, smaller types, hey, I'm trying to get under Booker T's learning tree or possibly Mickey James, right? Yep. I'm definitely wanting to learn from them because their style of wrestling would suit me to a T. So hell yeah, show me what you got.
And if I want to be a heel, bully.
All
day long.
Yeah. There's one kid that's already in there. I mean, he's a complete jackass.
He's a
right?
genuine jackass.
Oh, yeah. He's built jackass. He's built from the ground up. I was watching Michael Cole on the Logan Paul show. I caught a clip of that early. And the first thing Michael told him, he's like, you hate Logan Paul because he's a douche.
He's a douche. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
This kid in LFG, right down the same path, right? Already, but I liked it, right? I mean, the coaches don't like it because they want everybody to be, be whatever.
So here's some insight with that guy that I found. So I do think that dude was being total legit and honest when he said, they asked him to cut a second promo and he ripped it right off the cuff, but he drew from real experience, right? I do feel like, he said, hey, I ripped that off the cuff. I was being honest. I was being for real.
Yep.
But that jackass was still bleeding through. Yep. And I don't think he knew how to tweak it and turn that part off.
Yep.
And then you really figured out he couldn't turn it off when the Undertaker pressed him.
Yep.
Right? The Undertaker was like, is this really where you want to go?
Yeah.
And like he couldn't turn it off.
No.
And now, because in that moment, you should have been able to turn it off and been like, that's my act, guys. I'm sorry. Right. If it come off the wrong way or I rubbed you the wrong way, I apologize.
That was the point.
Like,
now, had he took it that way and said, hey, the emotion you're feeling now, how you're already pissed off at me, he should have been like, that was the point.
Yep.
That was the whole point, the whole reason. Instead, he kind of took it to the next level of, I'm angry about it. Yeah. And he just wanted to needle it in there. All he had to say, he could have sat there and watched those legends blow up and, get heated and all that.
Yep.
He could have calmly just stood there and took it, and right at the end of it, been like, you got it.
Now, who should be him looking at, like, oh, I need to pull from this guy because there's a guy right now doing the exact same thing. He's being a douche, a prick. He's pushing the envelope, but at the end of the day, it's the act. Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that dude,
what he's doing on social media.
What's his name? BJ?
Yeah,
BJ,
like
if you're out there listening, BJ, if you're listening, please pay attention to what Drew was doing. Please.
Forget that. Rest of the roster. If you're out there listening, we'll fucking pick up what Drew's putting down, right? Doing. The stuff he's doing on social media is gold.
It is.
I mean, because awesome. It's, you don't have anybody egging it on. You don't have anybody pulling it out of. I mean, he's leaving it out there for you. You got to go out there and find it to be enthralled by it. So, yeah, everybody else, not just the LFG guy. If you're in NXT, if you're in AEW, hell, please start listening to the show first, right? Let's start there. Please start listening to the show because we're dropping nuggets every week that can only make y'all better because it ain't getting no worse. But, yeah, for NXT guys, if you're on the main roster already, WWE, keep an eye on what Drew's doing because he's starting to do that next level stuff that makes these guys into legends.
Yep. All right, so it's Legends and Future Greats, Sunday nights, A&E. Take a peek. We encourage you to watch. We're going to talk about it probably a little bit more on our upcoming episodes.
If we can see it.
Yeah, YouTube, if we can catch it. but encourage you, watch that show. Definitely cool to see the back end of the business. Even though, now granted, I'm gonna double speak for just a few seconds. I'm gonna double speak. Sometimes it's good not to know.
Yeah.
That way you don't have a harder time with your suspension of disbelief. Yeah. But if you're a true fan, you really don't care because you're gonna believe anyway. And seeing what it really is only makes you see the flip side of the coin.
Yeah. Plus, at this stage of the game, we've seen it. Yeah. So, I mean, it isn't like this. They ain't going to show us a damn thing new on this show that we never seen before, except maybe The Undertaker's input. That's the only thing we haven't seen before. Everything else, it's been done already, and we've seen it. But tell me something honestly before we bounce off of. When you're watching that show, we were supposed to be that, right? That was totally our calling in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
I blew it.
Yep.
If I had I looked like so first let's put a disclaimer. Had I looked like some of those kids do back when I was 22, I would have been doing it because good Lord. I mean, like Evander Holyfield's kid, good Lord. That dude came up there. I mean, when he pulled his shirt off and I saw the arms,
that joke is big.
Like God, he'd been working out since he was 2.
Yep.
I mean, him and Evander probably used to box at home. I mean, Evander couldn't hear him when he was, hollering dad.
So I don't know if I would have been destined for the physicality of it, but the psychology of it, the booking, the producing, the announcing.
Yeah.
That's where my forte would have been. But yeah, we definitely missed our call.
Yeah, we blew it.
Yeah. Sorry.
And now guys. Sorry. Yeah, now we're old, so it's too late. It's too late to start that now. So
we did a podcast instead.
Exactly. We're still gonna give you these nuggets. We're still gonna drop this knowledge on you. We just ain't gonna make 8-9 figures a year. Damn it.
All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about NXT. We gotta talk about Vengeance Day that happened. Anything else happened that night when Vengeance Day was going on?
No, I think there was a Minis pay-per-view out there. I saw some little guys wrestling a little ring on a different channel, but
it was a little ring.
Yeah, it was definitely a little ring. It was a Minis ring. So
come on, guys, you got to know what we talking about.
They know. They probably didn't see it, but they've read about it. So they've heard about it.
So I got to say something real quick.
Okay,
I got to get it off my chest. IWC, you know who you are. Quit with that damn shit. Quit. Just quit. Just give it up. Nobody effing cares that ring was 2 foot smaller than a 20 by 20 WWE ring. So nobody cares where they got that ring from.
You got to admit it was funny though, right? Like when when you saw it, you looked at it. As you looked at it, you were like, wait a minute, is that what's happening right here?
Funny for a moment, yes. Funny for a moment, yes. But when you do that shit and that's all you focus on and you completely miss any of the match that happened, you're blindsided. You're not looking at the product. I'm gonna call you like I see it. You're not even a wrestling fan at this. You just a damn troll. That's all you are.
At this stage of the game, I mean, AEW is making it easy.
AEW is making it easy, but come on, if there's any wrestling fans out there with me that really watched that and looked at the match instead of paying attention to the damn ring size, look at some of those matches that they put on. Now, I will say I had some gripes. Like I texted you. They have no idea what a tag team match is supposed to be.
Tag team turmoil. Yeah, everything's a tornado.
It's tornado tags. I mean, they just might as well bill it under that. But that tag match was great. Harley Cameron look, I don't know what y'all have found in Harley Cameron.
They don't either.
But you better not let her go.
They will. Unfortunately, that's the problem. They also haven't figured out what they found with. But
so just
the one thing I did hear coming out of the IWC about in regards to her is they're saying the puppet's more over than Mercedes. They're right.
They're right.
They're actually right.
And if
the
I'm
little
AEW,
rap she did and the song that she did with it on the video on Dynamite last week, I'm like, damn, that was the most interested Mercedes has been. And then I looked out and was like, wait a minute, that ain't Mercedes. I was like, oh hell.
If I'm AEW, I'm selling that puppet like crazy.
Oh,
come on, AEW.
They'll never realize it.
But anyhow, there was some great wrestling that actually came out of that. Not psychology, but great wrestling. But
That's asking a lot.
I will say this: Toni Storm, Mariah May.
How'd I know you were gonna go there? Two buxom blondes, one with a big ass. How'd I know you were gonna end up at this match? Out of all the matches you saw, how'd I know you were gonna end up here?
I make no excuses, sir.
and I was patiently waiting. I'm like, now what match? Like, if we're gonna talk about one match on this whole event,
I make no excuses.
I wonder which one it's gonna be.
I make no excuses. But if there's any story right now that is worth investing in and paying attention to over there,
only story.
Yeah, that's the story.
That is the story.
Kudos to both of y'all. Y'all continue to spin that story, making it great. Kudos to Toni for being the first ever 4-time AEW Women's Champion.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. But let's go talk about Vengeance Day for
All right.
So let's talk about Vengeance Day.
Moving over to more interesting thing in a normal size ring.
You had to get that dig in.
Just a little bit.
All right. First thing first. Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
She arrived.
She has arrived.
Yep.
Your new North American Women's Champion.
Yep.
Phenomenal match. Great stuff. Four-way dance between Cora Jade, Roxanne, Bailey, and Julia.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Yeah, they definitely put their working boots on.
They tore it down. Congratulations to Julia for retaining. But oh my God, some of the moves, some of the way that was being done. Also got to give props to Roxanne and Cora Jade, because the story that they're telling right there, like, hey, I can't trust you, but so far, it is so small and in the weeds. But if you're paying attention, it's so intriguing, because you just know Cora Jade's going to screw her over royally eventually. Right?
I mean, but being able to tell that story within a match, you know, with two other dancers in there, you know, it isn't like it was focused on them or anything. They were able to tell that kind of like the B story, you know, underneath the A match, which that was really good too.
Obafemi retained his belt.
Speaking of Obafemi, oh my God.
Hold on.
Hell no, I'm not holding on. I've been waiting. How many times have I called for this match? I have called for this shit for months.
So we hold on.
Possibly for years. The first time we saw Jordan Grace on WWE, and I said, wait a minute, is that the TNA? Hold on. Wait, but they need to bring in, what about Moose? That's all I've been saying.
So let's get on
hit the
NXT.
archives. Hit the archive. I called this at minimum a year ago.
Let's get on
I said,
NXT.
Get his ass over here. And oh my God, when he popped up. So, you know, watching it on the screen when he came, I didn't know, right? I tried my best to stay away from social media before I watched NXT. I tried my damnedest, because there is so much interesting stuff, you know, with the whole crossover thing, you know, with Ricky's. Okay. When the absolute one came, we'll get there. When the absolute one came, I'm like, oh my God, you know, complete shock to me, things like that. So when Oba went out there and started talking, when those lights went off and they came back on, and because I'm an old school TNA fan, I recognized Moose right away. I'm like, oh my! You want to talk about marking out? I marked out like I'd never seen it before. I was like, oh my God, I called it.
So what we're getting ready to see, ladies and gentlemen, is a good old fashioned house fight.
Oh yeah,
that's what we're getting ready to see with Moose and Oba. Look, Oba is standing strong with that NXT championship. Moose no longer has the TNA World Championship, but he does have the X Division Championship.
Yep.
So you got both very established champions, because Oba was also a North American champion.
Yep.
So you got very established champions within their own right. Now it seems like it's going to be kind of my house versus y'all's house.
Yep.
And I'm all for it.
Yep.
The thing is, if you've never seen a Moose match, go watch.
Yep.
Moose has some incredible physicality.
Yeah.
But he's also technical in some ways.
Yeah, he can go.
He can go.
For a TNA guy, you would think, hey, I've never seen him before. How good could he really be? Trust me, the WWE has been interested in Moose on more than one occasion when he was coming up for re-signing contracts. But he's a guy that said, hey, TNA found me and they gave me a chance. So he's staying loyal to the brand. All respect to that, but he actually found his way up to the big dance, staying loyal to his brand. So, sometimes it does show loyalty pays off. But yeah, I think this is going to be a hell of a match.
I'm hoping they don't make us wait forever. I don't know how they're going to do it and what aspect.
Yeah, I don't know when the next NXT pay-per-view is coming up.
The next one is Stand and Deliver at WrestleMania.
Awesome. Well, we ain't getting it no time before that, I don't think. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think we're going to be forced to wait until then. So
yeah, I don't know.
Get your patience out.
Well, it does look like they've set Moose up though with a potential feud with Lexus King.
Yeah.
To kind of.
So we'll see him in the ring.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get him exposure to the WWE, the NXT audience there. But we're probably gonna have to wait on that Oba.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little hold off there, but I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen at WrestleMania. I'm really anxious to see how it can go, though. I mean, are they going to flip-flop titles? Are we going to have a TNA guy holding an NXT championship or vice versa? What potential do we have here? I mean,
with their announced partnership right now, I think that is more of a possibility than ever before.
Yeah. At this stage,
they've got a working agreement, a working relationship. So having a WWE title on a TNA talent, I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, it's kind of like how AEW works with Ring of Honor.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
yeah.
Moving on.
So, but what I don't want to happen, I don't want them to keep teasing TNA talent through NXT. And then NXT just riding roughshod over them every time.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Because that's what happened with TNA. Did try and work with AEW. I don't know for those of you. I mean, that's when AEW was at their heyday. A TNA kind of got in there, and they did the similar crossover type thing with them. But that's what ended up happening. I mean, AEW won every match. Or every match of consequence, at least. Let's put it like that. They put TNA titles on some AEW guys. Everything worked out to AEW's favor. None of it worked out for TNA at all. I mean,
right.
They took L after L after L, and it didn't benefit them at all. Hopefully they learn from that. Hopefully they come over to the WWE thing, and hopefully WWE's willing to work with them to that level of, hey, put our guys over, we put your guys over. That's the only way to make this shit interesting, right?
Yep.
If WWE is going to run, and that's what happened with the WCW invasion back in 2001, 25 years ago. Here we are again in the same scenario. Problem is, WWE ran over all the WCW guys, and then half the WCW guys got cut or let go because it's like, apparently all of you are trash because you've lost to all our WWE guys, so we don't need any of you.
Yep.
Don't do that again with TNA. You bring a guy like Moose in, let him go over some people. Maybe not go over Obafemi, right? Which that's probably what they're doing. He's damn sure going over Lexus King next week.
I think so.
He'll go over a few more people, get a couple wins under his belt, build up some credibility. Then you let your top guy beat him. That's all well and good. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Somebody else from TNA decided to make their presence felt last night.
Uh-oh. Who else we got?
The Hardy Boys.
Now, we didn't see him, so, if you don't see him, it don't count. If it ain't on video, it didn't happen.
They had a response on Twix afterwards.
That don't count either. I don't want to hear nothing. I want to see on camera. I need to see Matt and Jeff clean on camera, good to go.
Clean as the prerequisite.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't need to see no stumbling and bumbling out there.
No.
Because one, we already know Matt Hardy. He's riding that same horse that HBK was riding like a couple weeks ago on SmackDown. Because
he riding who?
He's riding that same horse HBK was riding because them knees.
Who? You call a Rebby a horse?
No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you see him start walking down to the ring.
Rebby, it wasn't me calling you.
You gonna see them knees, and I'm like, they look. It looks like it hurts, right? And we know what Jeff's body's been through over the last 20 years.
Both of them boys have been through a lot.
I don't even know how that man walks still to this day because he's about my age, and I hurt on a daily basis, and I've done none of the stuff he's done. So when I'm thinking of half the stuff he's done, I don't even know how he's walking around out there, but he's still putting on good matches. So I need to see them get down to the ring clean, and then and then either put some teams over or get some W's.
Clean. I think they'll put the No Quarter Catch crew over. I think they will.
Nah, I think 100% they're losing that.
You think so?
Absolutely. They're losing. They're going to lose that. The Hardys are going to win that. No catch court. They're losing. A couple other teams are going to do some losing. They're going to make something out of that. You're not going to bring the Hardys in as tag team champions for nothing. You're going to cash in on that one.
All right, so let's talk about somebody that did cash in on a brand new, shiny WWE NXT contract.
Oh, yeah.
We got to talk about the absolute one.
Oh,
absolute truth. Ricky Saints.
Ricky Saints. That was interesting, right? Because they made a way to zoom in on the camera to let you know.
He pointed to it, too.
Yeah,
he was like,
look
there, look right there. Look on that paper.
Because they teased it up until that. Oh, you know who I am. Everybody knows who I am. Wesley strolled out there. I know who you are. Either all ego. Ethan Page came out there.
Yep.
Hey, we've been friends. We go back a long way. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody went into it. Nobody ever said his name. I'm like, that's curious. Where are we going with this? There's speculation all over the internet, speculation everywhere. Is he changing his name? What are they taking away?
At least it wasn't Osiris Griffin.
I mean, it could have been Lincoln Town Car. So that was on the list. When I saw Lincoln Town Car on the list, the first thing I said is, how the fuck did they get that trademark? Because that exists, right? Like there's a million Lincoln Town Cars on the road. But I digress. That could have been Ricky Saints. He could have been Lincoln Town Car. Yeah. So thank goodness.
So look, the name changed. Look, I ain't mad at it. It's okay. I mean, it's close enough to where Ricky starts, Ricky Saints. It kind of all, it all goes. The only name change that I've ever been really, really mad at was the whole Walter Gunther thing, right?
I don't know
even now, like, okay, I've accepted that it's Gunther, like.
So that one was bad, but I remember when Piper Niven used to be called Dewdrop.
So
that was the shit. That was the drizzling shits. Nothing worse than you take a female wrestler and call her fucking Dewdrop. That's when I knew it was time for somebody to get the hell out of Dodge. I'm like, all right, look, I've been a fan for as many years as I've been alive.
Yeah.
But you got to go.
So name changes have been around for as long as we can remember. I mean, you went from Lex Luger came over to the WWE, and he was still Lex Luger eventually, but he was the narcissist. So I mean,
that was in '93 when everybody said, "Well, what the hell is a narcissist?"
Yeah,
I mean, that was before the emergence
you couldn't Google that.
Well, that was before the emergence of our 45th and 47th leader of the free world here. Before everybody got real comfortable with knowing what the hell a narcissist was. So now that everybody knows, you could do that gimmick today, but we're talking 30 years ago. Everybody's like, what the hell's a narcissist? I mean, I even remember Gorilla Monsoon. He called him the narcissist when it came out. He didn't even know what damn syllable to accentuate because nobody'd heard of that word. That was like a weird Vinceism that Vince thought, oh, the King's English. Everybody knows it. Nobody knew that shit back then. But now in 2025, everybody knows it. I mean, every foreign country seems to know the word. Every domestic person, everybody knows the word today, but nonetheless.
Somebody come get my partner.
Hey, I'm just saying. It's what we know. Words that we have learned today. I mean, these are words we didn't need to know 30 years ago.
Today's episode is brought to you by the word narcissist.
Or if you're Gorilla Monsoon, you're the narcissist.
All right, we gotta get back on track.
All right.
God almighty. All right, so the name change, I don't mind it one bit. It's close enough to hear him tell he had input on how the name change was done anyway.
As an aside, could you see the Don posing in front of those mirrors and with the sparklers coming out of the mirrors? Exactly, and the bikini clad supermodels all holding the mirror watching him pose, and that, could you see that? Nah, I digress.
So with Ricky Saints, I'm good with that name.
Like New Orleans Saints. But I mean, he's from New Orleans. It makes sense. Okay, cool. As long as you don't come out there and try to be a whole different character, just be Ricky Starks, okay? So the first thing they should do is they should give him Bobby Roode's Glorious music. And then it can start out. It can start out glorious. Yes. And then he can come out there and do the little thing, and then he could call himself the Saint. Then, you want to talk about killing a character real fast?
You kill it.
That's how you do it.
You kill it.
Yeah, don't do that.
But look, the first person to come out and interrupt him. Ethan Page.
How fast is this Angels Envy going down now? I mean, when we start wandering into the glorious theme again for Ricky Saints, oh my God.
So,
I'm trying to kill that poor kid's career before it even gets started.
So with Ethan Page coming out, though, and him and Ethan has torn it up in the past in AEW, there's some good stuff there to be had. I feel like that's going to be stand and deliver.
Yeah.
But you've also got Ethan and Javon Evans have kind of got to finish their story. There's some meat left on the bone.
I was going to say that's good because that'll keep Ethan Page busy for the next. Right. I mean, we're looking at a month and a half before we get to Mania.
And you've got you got Wesley that came out because they kind of set up.
Got to have something for Ricky
Saints. So,
and I mean, I think that's going to be a damn good in-ring match. I mean, you want to talk about two guys that can damn go?
Yep.
Oh my goodness, let's effing go!
All right, so let me stop real quick though. As the old saying goes, let me introduce myself. Let me introduce you to Ricky Saints, though. For those who may not know Ricky Starks,
you guys can't see me do the pose, but I'm doing it.
For those who don't know,
absolute one.
Please go back to AEW and watch Bryan Danielson and Ricky Starks.
Yeah,
in that strap match. Just go back.
Yeah, that was his coming out party. I don't mean coming out like that. I mean that's personal between him and his fan base, right? I don't mean that.
Ricky might be coming after you, sir.
Hey, a saint can be a sinner any time of the day now. Don't get it twisted now. So, but nonetheless, again, that was where everybody realized, like, man, this dude is ready to get to that next level.
This dude is the truth. He's the truth. I
mean, that's when everybody said, hey, this guy's ready to be next level, and that's what he said in his opening promo. I'm taking this place to the next level. And I ain't mad at the confidence on that either.
And I mean, Cody's one of his biggest supporters. And look, yeah, they're friends, but at the same time, Cody's not going to stick his neck out for just anybody, right? He's not going to get that kind of a persona in the company, like, oh, you stuck your neck out for Ricky, and Ricky's turned out to be shit.
Yeah, luckily he didn't have to in this one. I mean, watching between his Scott Hall promo last week, when he introduced himself, appearing at the pay-per-view over the weekend, the PLE over the weekend. And then with his contract signing and his promo work, being able to work with both Wesley.
When he told Ethan Page, you're wearing your insecurity tighter than that jacket you got on.
I mean, watching that promo, I was like, you know what? That kid's going to fit in just fine over here. I saw the writing on the wall. And you know what it harkened me back to, though? Remember when he promoted against Edge?
Yep.
And, I'm sorry, Cope. So keep in mind, we termed Cope. We
termed that.
Yeah, we definitely laid
Cope. We know you listened. We know.
I mean, he's right up the road in Nashville. So, I mean, clearly he's getting it on local broadcast. He's probably hearing it on his local radio station, every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. on WCAV PM, but that nonetheless, when you find out if you want to.
WCAV PM.
Exactly. So you guys find that if you want to.
Y'all got to hunt for that one. Yeah, I got to hunt for it
You
myself.
find that where you want to. It's out there, though. Check satellite radio. I think it's on Sirius.
Sirius.
Check out there for that. But, I mean, when he promoted against him, Cope was trying to handle him, right? Because he kind of said, but Ricky held his own. He would, he didn't back down. He was like, hey, I might not win this promo battle right now because this other guy's got 25 years of experience, but all I got to do is hold my own. That's it. And he did.
Yep.
So now when you bring him over to NXT, it's like, oh, hell, he could definitely hold his own with these guys. I mean, they got about the same amount of experience as him. He's going to hold his own. He's going to be able to stand out. He's going to find himself on the main roster a hell of a lot sooner than some of those other guys down there.
Yeah, I believe so. My thing is, though, don't call him up too fast unless you got a plan for him, because please don't do him like Carmelo. Please.
Yeah, no, we already got – so we're already ruining Carmelo. We're already ruining Andrade. God. This is a whole nother episode that we're eventually gonna put down, got to get recorded. But what the hell is going – these top tier talents don't need to be jobbers until there's not a proven ground. Now, although we know why Andrade's jobbing. I mean, we apparently found out a couple of weeks ago why he's on the job squad right now. But we digress.
Sorry, Andrade.
I mean, hey,
on multiple fronts. Sorry,
exactly.
I'm sorry.
And as the saying goes, woo. But anyway,
we digress.
Exactly.
Something else. Since we done went down that road real quick, something else. Triple H, come on, partner. Listen. You cannot put your new women's belts on Lyra Valkyria and Chelsea Green and then have them jobbing out every match. Come on.
It's kind of the way of the world.
Come on.
I mean, it's the mid-card title. That's just kind of what they do.
I need you to give them girls some wins.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of this, but while we're already into this conversation, what about the kid from LFG that we found out was Maxine Dupree's boyfriend? Does he have any other job in the whole wide world than to get on that main roster?
He's already won in life.
Hell yes. But I completely understand. Whatever his career was before this show started.
Yeah, your main focus is now riding down the road with your girl.
That's why I said he's got more incentive to get on the main roster than everybody else on that damn show. Because there's no way you got a girlfriend that looks like that. And you're like, oh yeah, she's just traveling around with the other guys, and I'm in Orlando fucking working out. No, I ain't working out no damn more. I'm on the main roster today. I'm cute. Hell yeah, we traveling together every day. Yeah, no, I ain't leaving that out there.
We got a segue. Since we're talking about girls, we got a segue.
Oh Lord, this is my segment now. Let's go.
So we got to talk about Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and Jordan Grace. There is some magic that is waiting to be happen around those three in that ring, and I do believe that will be stand and deliver. I do believe Jordan Grace is either going to go after Julia or after Stephanie Vaquer. I'm hoping stand and deliver gives me a three-way dance between all three of them.
Now, the only problem with that is two of them are champions, right?
Two of them are champions.
So how do you do that, right? How do you get two champions in one match with one non-champion? Because I want to see, if Jordan Grace is going to wrestle at stand and deliver, I want to see her going for a title. I don't want to see her out there just screwing around. I don't want to see her out there just bumping bodies with. I want to see her fighting for stakes.
The match that really should be, because they have a unique problem with those three ladies. Those three ladies are arguably could be interchangeable with that women's NXT championship.
Exactly.
Right? That's the weird problem that they've got.
That's why I said with one of them already having the North American title.
Here's what I want.
Gotta get that out of there if those three are gonna tangle.
Here's what I want. Now, granted, what I want and what we'll get two different things, and it might not make sense either because if you do it this way, it's going to hotshot a title, and I don't believe in hotshotting a title, but it's screwing up the match that I want to see it stand and deliver. The match I want to see it stand and deliver is Stephanie Vaquer versus Julia. That's what I want to see at stand and deliver.
Oh Lord.
I don't think we're going to get that though.
Well, not if they're both still holding titles, which they both probably will be.
And the other hot shot, the title, is to get that off of Stephanie and put it on Jordan, which would free Stephanie up to go against Julia.
Yeah, but is Jordan Grace a mid-card title champion or is she a main event title champion?
Stephanie a mid-card champion?
All of the above. Therein lies the problem.
It's the problem.
To whereas in WWE, where you got Chelsea Green and Lyra Valkyria as your mid-card, I don't necessarily see them being better than Tiffany Stratton or Rhea Ripley, by no means. So I get the distinction there. In NXT, though, that distinction is few and far between. I mean, that's a very thin line of main eventer to mid-carder that they're playing there because a lot of those talents in NXT look like they're not only ready to be main eventing in NXT, but are also ready to move up to the main roster and possibly be main eventing
so
there.
I'm pretty certain Roxanne's main she's there. She's main roster already. She's in the Elimination Chamber, for God's sakes.
I mean, at this point, they might as well graduate her, but I get it.
Yeah.
You don't want to graduate her.
Not going to happen until after WrestleMania.
Exactly right. You got to wait till after WrestleMania to do it, but I get it. At this point, she's already graduated. Yeah. She's ready to go. I think Cora Jade is ready to step up and take the Roxanne spot. Yeah,
within
I can
NXT.
See that. I mean, but she's had a taste of the main roster already, so bringing her back down is just like pulling other people up. You know, at this point now, I don't see that as a demotion. I see that as, hey, now it's time for you to give some other girls a hand up to get on your level so we can start developing that main roster.
Then you've got Fallon Henley, you've got Jada Parker, you've got Kalani Jordan. All of these women in NXT. They are stacked in NXT.
Hold on. Before we go too far away, back to LFG. The women on LFG,
dude,
they outperformed the men on LFG. So again, we talked about the show. For those of you who haven't seen it, they had two matches, right? They had a men's match and a women's match.
Yep.
The women's match, oh my God, there's a girl on there. She's an Olympic gold medal wrestler on there. That girl is going to be on the main roster before next year.
She is so... She's been there less than a year.
They said she's been there a couple of months.
So, I mean,
we're talking months.
It's incredible, the psychology, how she picked it up so fast. But you could also tell in her interviews, she wants to be there. She wants to learn the craft.
And she picked The Undertaker for a coach because her boyfriend told her, if there's anybody I would pick, it'd be The Undertaker. And during her match, The Undertaker looked over to Shawn Michaels and said, wait, she has no training before this? Because they said she'd been there a couple of months. And Shawn told him, none. The girl was a natural. She took to the shit like Kurt Angle took to it. And it's like, oh my God, but I'm saying by WrestleMania 43, she'll be wrestling for a title at WrestleMania 43. Mark my words today. At WrestleMania 43, she will be wrestling for the WWE Women's title or the World Championship.
And maybe she'll be fighting against Jordan Grace, Julia, or Stephanie Vaquer.
Or Rhea Ripley or Tiffany Stratton or Charlotte Flair. Look, that girl looks like she'll be able to hang with some training and some seasoning under her belt. Oh, hell, she's a guarantee. So she's a lot.
The women's division right now in the entirety of WWE may be the deepest women's division that we have ever seen come across any organization.
Period.
And it's cool to see, too, because, look, I don't know how this may be received, but everybody keeps hollering, look, we need an evolution, too. We need an evolution, too. We need a women's revolution, too. We need that pay-per-view, right? Maybe to showcase, to showcase, but it's not needed right now. And I don't think it's needed because they're showcasing them every show.
Well, yeah, the evolution and the revolution, we're past that. At this stage of the game, with the roster that we've got, the women could get a show.
Yeah, we
could give them an hour show every week, and that at this state with the women that we're talking about now, and the women that are upcoming, that would probably outpace some of the men's wrestling.
Yeah, look,
I damn sure would watch it before I watch Speed because I ain't never watched Speed before.
I've seen Speed one time.
Well, you saw it one more time than me. I ain't never seen it. The only time I saw the title was on TV or on social media when they were like, "Oh, look at the title," and I'm like, "Who the hell's the champ?" Had no clue.
So before we wrap this up, just listen to what we're saying, though, as far as NXT and LFG. Think about what we're saying by these two programs, right? Look, NXT's been around for a hot minute. Are they the development program anymore? Maybe not. Maybe they finally are.
Hell no, because they're heads and shoulders above AEW.
So they're the third brand, right? So they're looking at Evolve and LFG and the WWE ID program to be the new development part, right? So that is great. But think about what it's doing to WWE as a whole. They're taking money, turning it back into the company and investing on themselves, which is a fantastic thing for us wrestling fans.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful to see. But we also wanted to let you guys know that as far as episodes, we're going to be down next week. Unfortunately, we've got some travel that we got to go through. Look, we got to get to Toronto,
Canada. And I mean, now some of us may have a little travel issues over here. Not everybody's passport is exactly clear. And, there's a lot of...
I got some things I got to work on before.
Well, I mean, back to that narcissist we were talking about earlier, with the international relationship that we got going on here, the Bookers Alliance may not be able to get over the border the natural way, right?
So we might have to piggyback.
We might have to travel a little. We might have to do some nefarious things to get over the border. We may be bringing some nefarious things back with us, but we're not going to be able to record next week because we got some damn movement to make.
So as that being said, we hope you guys enjoy the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Look for your boys in the crowd. If you see us, just drop us a line on the social media platforms.
I'm gonna take a big sign. It's gonna say some crazy stuff on there. They might confiscate it, but I'm gonna take it anyway. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try my chances.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to today's episode. We appreciate you, and with that, we bid you adieu.
Let's effing go!
Today's podcast was produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.